Well, we've got some updated news on Aquaman 2, and it's not good. It is so bad that the entire theater industry is panicked about losing the holiday season. What a lot of people don't know is that a lot of these, all these movie theaters, many of them independently owned or, they're part of a conglomerate. Where I live, there's Marcus theaters, there's AMC theaters. But there are small town theaters that are family owned and operated in the various cities around me. And they are probably the most hurt by woke Hollywood's decisions because people not coming to the theater means they don't make any money. The way theaters make money, obviously, is mostly concessions, but they also take a portion of the ticket sales. I believe in some cases half. Now, if at the local theater they get a full half, or if it's split up between other people and them, either way, they get a chunk of the box office. And the latest report of Aquaman 2 is flopping even harder than the Marvels. And it has an absolutely massive budget. And theaters themselves are now speaking out, saying stop with this woke garbage. We're going to get into all that after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Strike Gum. What is Strike Gum? Well, unlike any traditional pre-workout powders, there's no mixing, no shaker bottles, just pop in a piece, feel the rush, get energized. It's veteran owned and operated. The owner is also a fellow content creator. It's made right here in the United States and has zero sugar. It contains 90 milligrams of caffeine in every piece, as much as the leading energy drinks. And that's what I like it for, as an energy drink supplement or replacement. It's easier to use than any powdered pre-workout. The refreshing mint flavor keeps your breath fresh, and it costs less per serving than many other pre-workouts, energy drinks, energy powders, and coffee. It's easy to grab and use on the go. Keep it in your gym bag, glove box, or chew on it on your way to the gym. This stuff is absolutely great. If you want to check it out and replace those sugary energy drinks or your existing pre-workout, I've left a link in the description below to give them a try. Check it out. Aquaman 2 flopping even harder than the Marvels. It's no secret that the DCEU has had more misses than hits, and that's exactly why James Gunn is rebooting it. Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom is going to be the last DC film before the big reboot, and considering it's the first film from veteran director James Wan, the first film earned over $1 billion, Warner Brothers executives were likely hoping the DCEU would go out with a bang. Sadly, it looks like the DCEU will go gently into the good night. GameRant reports that Aquaman 2 is projected to earn even less at the opening weekend box office than the infamous MCU flop, The Marvels. According to the projections, Aquaman 2 is going to earn somewhere between $32 million and $42 million. That might sound like a lot of money, but you need to keep two things in mind. First, the film has a high budget of $205 million, and because the box office returns almost always plummet after a movie comes out, a low opening weekend at the box office is often an accurate predictor of a film's dismal overall performance. Second, even if Aquaman 2 makes $42 million, that's the highest possible projected box office this weekend, it will still come in making $5 million less than the Marvels, which is already the most high-profile flop of the season. The Marvels is a higher-profile movie and was much more expensive than Aquaman 2, costing Disney a cool $273 million to make. But considering Aquaman 2 pre-sales are 25% lower than the famous DC flop Shazam! Fury of the Gods, it looks like Aquaman 2 will be a flop no matter what you choose to measure it against. Why would Aquaman 2 flop so hard when the first film earned a global box office of more than $1 billion? Well, for the same reason the Marvels did. I mean, the Marvels, Captain Marvel made over $1 billion too. Even though the term is serving more and more as a scapegoat for panicked executives, we have to imagine superhero fatigue is a factor. It's difficult to get excited about Jason Momoa suiting up as Aquaman again when Marvel has been unleashing a fire hose of superhero content on us year after year. It doesn't help that controversial actor Amber Heard is returning as the female lead, and the negative reputation after losing a highly public defamation case with Johnny Depp isn't doing Aquaman 2 any favors. Well, I mean, go ahead and look at literally anything anywhere they try to promote this. I mean, it's going to be and is a disaster. And here's the thing: Aquaman 2 needs to make 410 million worldwide just to break even. Now, the budget is 205 million, but that does not include marketing. See, people seem to always get this wrong. Usually, so if the budget's 200 million, they spend another 200 million marketing it. Now, in this particular case, I think with modern day cinemas, modern day movies, I think they're probably not doing that normal. They're probably not spending that as much as they used to because they just know it's not going to do very good. As for the Box Office Pro's latest projections, Aquaman 2 will earn between 105 and 168 million in its lifetime in the domestic market. The James Wan directed film has been made on a staggering budget of $205 million. So it needs to make massive earnings from overseas markets to become successful at the box office. Now, certainly, if China were to embrace it, something like that, I think that China could bring 200 million alone, but that hasn't been what's been happening, and that's a big thing no one's talking about. Is that when Endgame and Captain Marvel and all this crap were making 6, 7, 8, 900 million or $1 billion, the things were different. China was spending $250 million on the movies. The global box office has completely moved on. Meanwhile, early reports also claim the DCEU film will witness a decline in opening weekend collections as compared to its predecessor. Till now, projections hint at a 38% decline. It's now to be seen whether Aquaman 2 lands on this difficult journey. Well, it's so bad now that movie theater owners are speaking up because they're the ones, that are suffering the most. They're the ones that are getting pummeled by woke garbage. Every year around Christmas, Phoenix Theaters put all of its chips in one major tentpole, gambling on a movie so big, so broadly appearing, it'll keep auditoriums stocked up into the new year. In the recent past, the Midwest-based chain has gone all in on 2022's Avatar, 2021's Spider-Man, 2019 Star Wars. But this holiday season is different. For the first time in more than a decade, excluding the lockdown-stricken 2020, there is no surefire blockbuster, the potential to gross $1 billion globally to cap off the year. Quote, "You can't look at the release schedule between now and the end of the year and find one movie that will stand out like Avatar as the big film," says Phoenix Theaters owners Corey Jacobson. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the follow-up to 2018's mega hit Aquaman, should be that big bet. Yet the sequel lands in theaters on December 22nd is a massive question mark. Will the Momoa-led comic book adventure recapture the spark of the original? Well, I think the answer is a resounding no, and we knew that the second Amber Heard opened her mouth. Now, I will say that, a lot of people who have dedicated their entire YouTube channels to Amber Heard will say that this is all because of Amber Heard. It simply isn't. Captain Marvel flopped. Really, any of these rehashes, too. The non-original. People are going out to see things that are original. People showed up for Barbie. People showed up for Oppenheimer. People even showed up for Five Nights at Freddy's. It's more like superhero fatigue, sequel fatigue, remake fatigue. And I've talked about this before. People no longer see these superhero movies as must-see TV. People are fine to wait and watch it on streaming. They're no longer that good. The CGI really hasn't, gotten better over time. The stories definitely haven't gotten better over time. So people are happy to just stay and watch it on TV. And there's no more FOMO, a marketing term that stands for fear of missing out. Nobody's talking about Marvel movies anymore. During the Endgame saga, everyone was talking about it. So you had to go see it. You wanted to be a part of the conversation. But the fact of the matter is, nobody cares anymore. Nobody shows up. Now, there have been unique films like Blue Beetle. They didn't show up for that either. I think that is more attributed to superhero fatigue and an unknown character too. For this year's holiday stretch, the gambles include Wonka with Timothy Chalamet, Universal and Illumination's animated comedy Migration, A24 sports drama The Iron Claw with Zac Efron, and the musical adaptation of The Color Purple. Yeah, none of those. I mean, I would say Wonka if I thought that movie was going to be good, but I don't. So, I mean, even the movie theaters now are speaking up and saying, like, bro, Hollywood, you're screwing us. You're screwing us with garbage movies. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom could surprise. The first film opened to an unspectacular $67 million, but eventually grossed a staggering $335 million in North America and $1.15 billion globally. But the very idea that a sequel isn't guaranteed to smash is indicative of a larger concern in Hollywood. We are seeing the collapse of these major franchises, says Bach. This year has proven that audiences do want original things. Hollywood just can't put out a Roman numeral, can't put a Roman numeral on things. Based movie theater owner, I mean. If Aquaman 2 misses the mark, it'll join Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and a slew of other sequels, spin-offs, and reboots that appeared to be guaranteed winners only to widely miss box office expectations. Theater owners like Logan believe studios may be running a good thing into the ground. Studios have IP and they think it's a golden ticket, but it's oversaturated. We've seen it all before, multiple times, Logan said. These things aren't events anymore. They aren't rare. It's just this month's superhero movie. 100% agree. 100% true. Big true. So continue not seeing these movies. I think that maybe they'll invest in originals then. Maybe we'll actually get better product. Or they can ride this woke train into oblivion, and I'm fine with that too. Like, that's fine. If they want to ride this out and not, and have it be terrible, continue losing hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm totally fine with that. Fine with that. Either way, we win. We either get better movies or Hollywood completely implodes. I see both as winning options.